Good evening, one and all. Welcome to Nothing New Under the Sun. This is your host, Michael the Younger. This will be not super long. So, one of the first things I ever read that got me into history is a letter from the Hittites to the king of Ashur, the king of Mizraim, the king of Babylon, and the king of Ahhiyawa. Ahhiyawa. Because it shocked me that the ancient Assyrians were actually called the Ashur, because one of the tribes of Israel was called Ashur. And Ashur had a female cow god named Ashtor. And it's weird because the ancient Egyptians have a female calf god named Hathor. Okay, getting what we're doing here? I do not believe that history is correct. I think that there are no such thing as ancient Assyrians. The only people who call them Assyrians are today, present day people. They called themselves Ashur. The Hittites called themselves Nephili, or Nesali. The Egyptians called them uh, uh, Neph, because Hittites had a symbol of the gazelle. Now, the gazelle is also associated with the tribe of Naphtali, Naphtali, Naphtali. If you look at a lot of the kings' names from the Hittites, the last part of their name is Illi, Ili, Naphtali, because the Hittites are the tribe of Naphtali. Their land allotment was in the north part near Kadesh. So when you think of Battle of Kadesh, this is why the Hittites fought that, because the Hittites are the tribe of Naphtali. Now, they mentioned another kingdom called Ahhiyawa, and we spell that Ahhiyawa. Scholars believe it's the Achaeans, the Achilles from the Trojan War, or the Mycenaeans. Now, the Mycenae Greece people were called the Danoi by Homer. They were the Danoi because Dan is a tribe of Israel that did not take land when Moses handed it out. He left in their boats. So they're the Mycenae Greeks from the Trojan War, the tribe of Dan. Now, what is Yahweh? Well, Y, Haya, or Hiya in Hebrew means I am and I will be. Because Moses was told by God in the Bible that his name is I am and I will be, and I'm all that will be and to be. And he said that to Joseph as well, I believe. I am the name I am. Now, we say Yahweh because it's a mispronunciation error over thousands of years. Because H, Ahhiwa means I am, I will be, I am and I will, I am, I will, and everything to be, something of that nature. And that is the name of the Judean God, the kingdom of Judah, because the Hittite king is mentioned, the king of Judah. So that would be your David, your Solomon, whoever. That's the first time that I've ever seen, ever heard of any thing in the historical record that ever mentioned the kingdom of Judea that far back. Most of it is related to Romans or the Greeks. They say that is 1250 BC. The problem with that is there is no kingdom of Judea in 1250 BC because the chronology of history is not correct. The Hittite, the Hittites, and the Amenhotep III's, Amenhotep II, that history around 12 or 1300 BC did not happen at those dates. It is all Iron Age history. It is, I'm just telling you, it is Iron Age history. And I'll give you just one example. So Amenhotep III ruled 42 years. Famous, never going to war, had lots of gold, used it as a diplomatic tool. He never married his family sister. He married outside of the tribe. and he had hundreds of other wives. Now, guess who else? That sounds like that's King Solomon. King Solomon ruled 42 years, married outside the family, outside the tribe. He never went to war and he used gold as a diplomatic weapon because that's who those people are. Amenhotep the first, second, third, fourth, Thutmose the first, second, third, fourth. Those are King Saul, King David, King Solomon, King Rehoboam, King Jeroboam, all the way through. And when you get to King Seti, Seti the first, no, it's not Seti, Seti. It is Zeddy, Zede, Zeddy, Zedekiah, King Zedekiah, who ruled like 13 years, which is exactly the same number that Seti ruled. He was buried in the exact same location as Seti did, because that's who the guy is. These are Iron Age people. That explains why the pyramids were built. That explains why all of the stones used in Egypt are faced off on all six sides when nobody else did that in the Bronze Age, because they would have never wasted the material. So that's obviously an Iron Age structure, because all that history occurred in the Iron Age. And that Hittite letter proves it. There's no way in hell that in 1300 BC, 1200 BC, there was a kingdom of Judah. But he said it, the king of Ahhiyawa, which translates to the king of I am, I will be, I'm all to be, or whatever it is. That's a Judean king. That's in the Bible, and that's who he mentioned. Hands down, end of question. The Achaeans he speaks of from the Greeks are not the Achaeans. What do all those people write letters to? What do they use? What language? They use Akkadian. What would a Hittite, a Babylonian, Assyrian, Egyptian all be using ancient Akkadian for? Because that's who they are. They are the Akkadians from the Sumer who went down into the Promised Land after 2000 BC because they are Akkadians. That's why they use that language because that's who they are. And one of part of the Judeans are part of that group, and they worship Yahweh, which is actually the phrase "I am and I will be." Well, if you got any questions, please do your own research. Check it out yourself. Look for the meanings of the spelling Haya, Hiya, and Hiyawa, and it will tell you everything you need to know. And start from zero. If you start with wrong information, your foundation, the house is going to crumble. Start from zero and then just work your way up. If you come up with anything different, any more information, please visit me at at AskWhy2030 at AskWhy2030. That's my YouTube channel. Or go to Spotify or Apple. Find the podcast Nothing New Under the Sun. Shoot me a message. Subscribe to the channel. We'd be happy to have you. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Have a great day. And thanks again for sticking around.